We're stranded on an island.
What games do we want?
Hello and welcome to Triangle Squared, a PlayStation podcast. I'm your host, Brett Beck, and alongside me, Mr.
Saw Bridges, bringing you lucky episode 57.
Winner, chicken dinner.
There we go.
I'm back, baby.
You're back. Right on the flow.
We are Triangle Squared Places podcast. If you've never tuned into us, we post a new episode to YouTube every Monday at 10 a.m. PST and 12 p.m. CST. Or if you want to listen to us on podcast services, we also post to majority of them. That dang Spotify. Anyway, if you like what we do and you watch us on YouTube, consider giving us a subscribe and clicking the bell so you can get more of our videos as we do them. We do a weekly one at the very minimum, and we do a couple more as we have talked about in the past, but we'll get into that later. And if you listen to us on podcast services, if you'd consider giving us a review, let us know how we're doing. That's great. Gets our numbers up there so people can find us more easily. And, you know, so that helps us a lot. And Saul, with that being done, good sir, what have you been doing this week? What have you been playing?
Not a whole lot. Surprisingly enough, I pretty much God of War, pretty much what we said. I finished that up on Sunday of last week. You guys have caught our impressions of that by now. If you haven't, go check that out. But other than that, we have a little special, somewhat surprise. I played Saturday Morning RPG for the Switch, which I'm going to do a new little series video on, something that is almost a rough draft of what I want the series to be. So,
and it will have nothing to do with Triangle Squared. It will be completely separate. It'll be a Nartec Gaming production.
Yeah, so it'll be one of the second one, and I would say second production that we created that's not Triangle Squared.
Sure.
But that's really it, actually. No, it's not. No, it's not. I beat Hyper Light Drifter on PS4, so now you may borrow it.
Boy, I need to. I got a couple games I'm going to play that are short. I got to play Seasons of Fall.
It's short.
Seasons After Fall and stuff. So.
You could probably beat the game in about 3 hours if you wanted. If you knew where you're going, I'm going to say your first time around, you're not going to beat it in 3 hours. You'll probably take about 12.
Oh, okay.
It's a very elusive in where you need to go. Think A Link to the Past, almost, which you kind of have 4 directions to go, and some of the things you have to collect are also very inconspicuous.
And can you go back and do the things once you've completed the game, or is it kind of a one and done?
There's a new game plus.
Hey,
so pretty cool.
That's
and
cool, yeah.
I have that elusive physical version as well. That I need you to keep in mint condition. But Brett, what have you been playing this week?
So I don't think you have to worry about me keeping games in mint condition.
No, that's
I'm
true.
very, very good at that.
You are very good at that.
That said, man, this week has been God of War and God of War only. Once I beat the game, which I think was Wednesday. It was Wednesday morning. Or Wednesday afternoon, I guess, right before we were going to record our impressions. That being said, I played that, and I've played it since, working towards the platinum. I am with Liam on this particular one, where I want to continue playing the game while I'm still sharp on it, because we chose the harder difficulty, which means we have to do all the post-game stuff on the harder difficulty, so I'm having to stay sharp.
You could technically change that if you wanted.
You just have to make a new game and restart, right?
No, you don't. You can change difficulty mid-game. It just reloads you back at last checkpoint. I was really kind of confused when you guys were saying how hard everything was. I'm like,
I need to look and see this, because
no, I'm dead serious. I did that. I started at the hardest difficulty and then almost past the second boss.
I'm just going off the game. The game said that if you start
only on the hardest difficulty.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You're on the third hardest.
Yes,
difficulty.
I'm gonna give me a challenge.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's fun, but with this late game stuff, definitely the impossible Muspelheim challenge, I'm getting so close, and then I'm messing up. Well, and I didn't realize you had to get all of them. See, I beat the I'm not gonna do all that, but I beat the final challenge, and then it restarts, and I was like, what?
Well, and see, I started on the last difficulty, and that is the one I had to restart my game. But I think I said this in the impressions that I was only an hour and a half in when I did so to show my fiance something. Sure. And that's when I picked the third difficulty and stayed with it. So you could definitely, and I tested that out too. It just reloads your save, or it says it just reloads your checkpoint.
I need to check that out.
Okay.
I will pull my save to make sure I don't lose my character just weirdly, but.
Yeah,
I didn't even see it in the accessibility options. That's why, or whatever.
It's in the gameplay options.
I need to check that out.
Yeah.
Well, good, Saul. Thanks for that little tidbit of information. But
there you go. Hey, Liam.
So I'm working on that. Yeah. So Liam, if you need to go ahead and get that in your mind, good sir. Other than that, though, that's pretty much it. I would say. I plan on playing, like I said, Seasons After Fall. I picked that up. I bought 3 games last week with my buy 2, get 1 free. I just decided to go ahead. I normally don't use it at all, even though I keep my card. But I got Tales of Berseria. I've been talking about it a lot. I decided I'm going to go ahead and get it. The Stonard, which is, I think he was the one that me and him were talking about it. And I told him that Xillia was my favorite. But he did seem like he thought that Berseria was pretty cool and better than Zestiria, which was my last meh kind of experience with the series. So I'm going to try this one out and see how it stacks up to Xillia. I bought 2 other other games. Limbo and Inside Collection, because I've never played either of those games, so I figured,
I
hey,
still
might as
can't
well do
believe
that.
you never played Limbo.
Yeah, I didn't, because it was on
good last
Xbox
gen
at
game.
first, you know. So,
Yeah. See, and I'm in the same boat in a way with my games. Is that I have The Witcher 3, Persona 5, Final Fantasy VII, and there was another game that I was talking to Liam about that I really want to go back and play. And it sucks because besides I've played the crap out of Final Fantasy VII. I know exactly what to do in that game. But The Witcher 3 and Persona 5 are both monstrous time sinks, and that's kind of one of the things that is somewhat holding me back. But if you don't mind, I will drop into the hop. I mean, hop into the drop. Drop into the hop.
Somebody, Liam,
Triangle
make
square.
that a meme. Please make it a
triangle
meme.
squared trademarked. You got to have a little triangle squared.
Zoom in
next
on
to it.
Saul's face and just go hop in.
Don't
Make
you-
it a GIF if
Liam,
you can.
if
I would
you-
love it.
I swear.
If you don't, I will.
Anybody zooms in on my face, I'll kill you.
I will do it. Saul, go ahead.
Okay, sure thing. So for those that don't know, the drop is the weekly releases. This comes out on Monday. All these titles will be coming out Tuesday or later. And maybe this will be as PSVR heavy as last week. Let's find out. We have City of Brass for PS4, Dyland for PS4, Guns of Icarus Alliance PS4 Edition for PS4, Hex Tunnel Touch for PS4, Hive Altinum Wars for PS4, Killing Floor Incursion for
That's for
PSVR,
VR.
which
That
is
looks
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Killing Floor is a good game. It was free like 6 months ago. It's a pretty fun game. We have Pirate Flight for PSVR, Super Mega Baseball 2 for PS4. That's actually it. That was a very short list this week. I
forgot
normally,
Super Mega Baseball, I think, is the only baseball game on Xbox. Because I remember having a conversation with
is
somebody at
MLB the
GameStop.
Show not on Xbox?
It's a PlayStation exclusive from Santa.
I don't play baseball games. I don't know.
Oh yeah, neither do I. But no, that's made by the people who did Killstrain. I can't think of the name of the studio right now. It's the same,
Killstrain.
Yeah, the same people that did Mod Nation for Vita. I can't remember the studio, but it's not Santa Monica. It's one of those San Diego, Sony San Diego.
Oh,
I'm
that's
who makes
surprised.
that.
I
Yep.
didn't know that.
That's
So,
very odd
interesting.
that they have a exclusive sports game still, and it's also the highest selling. MLB quit making
Yeah.
theirs. 2K quit making theirs or whatever.
Those games sell like nuts.
Yeah, the show does. The
I
show
hear a
does
lot
very
of people
well.
playing them.
Yeah.
And of course, I know Andrew, one of our in real life and PS4 buddies, is
Dude,
always playing
loves
that game.
Yeah, he does. He's playing it the other day at work. I was like, God, Andrew, just
At work on the Vita.
Vita. Yeah.
So, Brett, why don't you hop into the weekly news for this past week?
You sure you don't want me to drop into that hop, buddy?
Drop into that hop.
All right. God of War. This is the first thing up, and if you played the game, then you know, because every time you turn it on, it asks if you want to freaking update the thing.
Yeah, it does.
God of War received a few updates this past week, fixing small bugs and giving more accessibility options, such as the ability to adjust the text size, which is pretty cool. And I don't really know what the bugs were, but I did have a glitch trophy that, thankfully, an update and then reopening the game fixed.
I meant to ask you about that, so it worked out for you.
Yeah, it worked out for me. I was really about to be mad. But, it is what it is. Next up, more info for Shadow of the Tomb Raider was given this, and I think it was at the Tribeca Film Festival. It was a weird thing that they did. Anyway, with some new footage showing light mechanic changes to an otherwise unchanged gameplay formula. Those changes including more traversal options such as swimming, because we're going back in time for some reason. I honestly forgot those games didn't even include swimming until they said that, and I was like, you didn't swim in the other two games. So
was it an instant death mechanic?
I think so, but
So
I don't even think that you can necessarily. I don't know. It's very odd.
I haven't played those games in such a long time, and I never have played the new ones.
I thought Vice City you could swim, but 3 you couldn't.
No, you cannot swim in Vice
You
City.
could put a cheat on in 3 to make your car a boat.
I remember
which
that.
was dumb.
You
but,
can swim in San Andreas. I'm pretty sure
you
for
could.
your stats and stuff.
Yeah, you could. Anyway, the other things are higher focus on stealth, with Lara being able to blend into the jungle surroundings to get a leg up on enemies. One of the other things that they really put time on was how Laura's like a darker, more hardcore Lara.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny. A lot of the people have actually been criticizing it, for not changing enough, and then also with the way that at least the opening scene that they shows Lara being kind of selfish. And I don't know how I feel about that, because what it may be trying to do is set up a story where Lara is having to keep from becoming the enemy. I don't quite know, but if they choose to do it and they do it right, I think you can pull a lot of things off with characters that aren't necessarily the most just heroic people, because that tends to give you a little more character depth. But I don't know. I'm curious to see how that one works out. Next up, though, Sony has revealed recently in a financial conference call that the PS4 has now sold 76.5 million units, selling 19 million throughout the last fiscal year. They expect the numbers to drop to around 16 million for the following financial year as the platform continues to mature, pulling them well above the 83 million that the PS3 sold in a much shorter time frame. Really, congratulations to them on that. They expect growth in the console segment as as more PS4s continue to be on the market, and that will offset the drop in console sales. So they're looking good. They're sitting pretty. Good for them.
Good job, Sony.
Definitely when you think about, the years ago where Sony was always in the red. So, I mean, good on them.
You know what I just now realized? What if Sony goes back to their old self and the PS5 is a complete failure? What happens to this podcast?
I mean, I don't know. We rag on PlayStation for ruining the PS5.
There we go.
So,
Just go full on Switch Xbox fanboys.
Oh God,
Switch box.
Xbox is still going to have to step their game up to make that the possibility.
Yeah,
but we'll
ain't
see.
The truth.
Next up, Epic Games Paragon has officially had its server shut down, though it did give players an extra day.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was very
sympathy.
last minute too. Like, oh, you have until tomorrow, and somebody's like, yeah, because it takes a day to find a game.
Man, I will say from
mean.
what I played of Paragon, that game was really, really fun.
It looked cool.
It was super fun for a MOBA. And
but I mean, you gotta think
really
Epic only has the resources to pour into one ridiculous game, and I don't know if you saw, but this can be a news clip too. Fortnite is now the best, the best performing free-to-play title on console.
Yeah.
Ever.
Better than Warframe, which is surprising.
Yeah, but good on Warframe, man. Still, it doesn't matter. Warframe's doing
still
honestly. Warframe's
game.
doing better in terms of general perception. They're doing more consumer-friendly things.
I mean, I'm sure they are, but I'm just saying that there's nothing that's going to top Fortnite. For a while.
No, yeah, monetarily no, but
in terms of popularity,
again,
stuff.
I just think that and this is personal opinion, but my personal opinion is that. Oh Lord, what do they call digital extremes?
Yeah,
are doing more with that game and trying to do community outreach and stuff. I do think the Epic is taking a little bit of lessons from what they did with Warframe and trying to move it forward.
Yeah, they're definitely
actually one of the next things on here. I'll go ahead and skip
stuff.
to it. Is that Fortnite has recently added the ability to get refunds on cosmetic items, but it was temporarily disabled shortly after launch due to an issue. But while it was active, while active, because it's coming back, players will be allowed to refund up to 3 items for V-Bucks, which is the game's currency, but that is lifetime currently. So 3 items you get to where you just give them back if you don't want them anymore, and you'll get V-Bucks back for them.
So I wonder if this means things you just bought from the store that
it seems
you
like
had
at
used?
any point in time, but I don't know.
That actually might be kind of cool because I've spent $24 on Fortnite the entire time I've owned it, other than the purchase, the early. So because I've been playing
you wanted to get the
Battle Royale a week early. That'd be actually kind of cool because they always have the designs they keep adding to the game in terms of outfits and then the cool stuff they're doing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and one more little piece of Fortnite stuff. I'm not into it, so I didn't bother, but Season 4 is starting, and they have news on that. So if you're interested in that and you've not been playing but wanted to hop back in, there you go. It's time to do it. Next thing up, Sonic Mania Plus, an updated version of last year's release with 2 new characters, which are ridiculous. It's an armadillo and a squirrel, flying squirrel.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And also, fresh takes on familiar zones from the first game will be available as an update to existing owners for only $4.99, and the game launches July 17th. It will otherwise be a normal purchase.
Is this across all platforms?
Yes.
Okay,
in
cool.
Terms of
because I got the game on Switch and it was good. It was
my understanding
100%
across
on
all
Switch.
platforms. Yeah.
Okay, I will go back to it for this then for $5. That's perfect.
I mean, honestly, what if they finally make a new character after all this time that people like? Because I think the last time, and it was still a dividing thing, was Shadow.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things.
The Edgehog.
The Edgehog. The Edgelord Hog. That's definitely what it was. Okay, next thing up, Destiny 2's Warmind expansion releases May 8th. An interesting tidbit that I found was that it was developed in collaboration with Vicarious Visions, which is the team behind the Crash Bandicoot remaster.
Out of curiosity, I watched the reveal stream for Warmind, and I was really surprised to see a developer from Vicarious Visions there. Even though what they're updating looks kind of cool, I don't know if it cost, how much it cost, and if it's worth the price to re-entry.
That's my biggest thing because the last
if it's
one
$30
was ridiculous.
Probably,
Curse of Osiris was expensive and it was very short.
See, and I will say that I know that I have a person to play this game constantly with, which is Joe, and so I will, at least there's a reason to go back to that extent, but I just don't know, man. I have to wait for the reviews to fully
I think
come
I'll
out.
see you back on it sooner rather than later, Saul. I know your weakness.
There's besides Overwatch, we're missing a real big competitive shooter in this gen. Resistance 4, where are you at?
Man, I would love it. Or even a new Killzone. I'd settle for either. Next thing up, Minecraft, Saul, to your favorite thing in the world. Minecraft has partnered with Square Enix to release a Final Fantasy 15 skin pack for the game, and the skin pack will cost $4.55 on the U.S. or North American PlayStation Store.
Number is that?
Next up, Detroit Become Human has gone gold, so congratulations to everybody over at Quantic Dream. I still just live on a prayer that we can get that game early just because I want to play it early. But
the voice actor liked our tweeter.
Our tweeter.
Our tweeter.
So you sound like the 80-year-old man. It's like, I'm on the Twitter.
I'm on the tweeter. Yeah, he liked our tweet. So guys, if you follow us on Twitter, go back like a week ago and you'll see a tweet that we did. We want an early copy so we can review it. So if the voice actor,
I'm going to be honest with you right now. I want an early copy so I can have impressions ready earlier and, do our normal things with spoiler free and then spoiler wall. But I also just want to play it early because I just want to play the freaking game early.
When it comes out the same day as Dark Souls Remastered, I need time to play that.
See, if you got it early, then you'd get to experience Dark Souls Remastered the way you want to.
I mean, I'm still going to.
You,
yeah, I'm still going to. I'm still going to play them both simultaneously, pretty much.
Good for you. You can try.
I will. By the way, the demo is available for now for
yes.
For
The
Detroit.
demo became available for everyone. So
super replayability in it.
Yep. Next up, recent rumors, and this is rumors very strongly, have swirled around in regards to Final Fantasy VII Remake, stating that development has been scrapped and restarted from scratch. No official statement has been made by Square Enix in regards to this, so take it with a huge grain of salt. I don't think it's unlikely. But at the same time, they were a little more transparent with Final Fantasy 15 once they did that wall. So unless they're going back to what they did with Versus 13, where they just don't talk about it ever and keep showing it over and over and over, then I hope we're not in for the same treatment, but we very well could be. So I don't know. I stand cautiously, because the thing is there was recently an interview in a magazine where the guy who's the art director actually talked about what they're doing with bringing it over.
I know, which is what's crazy. So I don't
think it's completely scrapped. Now, what they may have done is catch all the work they did, because last year around May they brought the project back in-house from CyberConnect.
Right, and supposedly then is when they scrapped everything.
Well, I don't know though. What they may have done is tried keeping what CyberConnect did to get a leg up, but have gone and completely that may be the rumor may be getting misconstrued to where it's actually that they're dropping all the stuff that they did.
Well, that was the rumor.
That CyberConnect did, but they still have their own foundation that they have built up. I don't know.
Let's hope so. This game's been in development for what can only be assumed as 3 years.
Did they confirm that it's going to be on Unreal Engine?
No.
Did they not?
Did they not? I know Kingdom Hearts is. I don't know about.
Yeah, I felt like this was too, but maybe not.
I might be
wrong. I don't think
wrong.
it's Luminous.
No, it is, isn't it?
It's Luminous.
What else is in Luminous Engine right now?
Nothing. Final Fantasy 15, the sole game that was used to.
That might be what I was thinking of.
Yeah, probably is. But no, I don't know. That's interesting to me. A couple more things, or actually, the last thing I think.
No, it is Unreal.
It's Unreal?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Last thing is that the PS Plus games for the month of May have been revealed and are as follows: Beyond Two Souls for PS4, which I find extremely interesting because
that's the first time
you've seen them shy away. They used to do it in the PS3 years, but this is the first time you've seen them shy back towards it. Releasing a game from a developer the same month as their game releases to build interest.
It would have been absolutely overwhelming if they put on Dark Souls 2 on there too.
I don't think that would happen. Well.
Yeah,
I would be happy.
I mean, they didn't, but I'm just saying, like, it'd
I don't think that would have
overwhelming.
happened. That's what I mean. So I don't know. But Beyond Two Souls for PS4 specifically, not the PS3 version, so it is the remaster. Rayman Legends, which is the really, I'm not gonna say bad, but the stepchild to me of the UbiArt Rayman series. I do think that Origins was much better, had tighter actual platforming focus, whereas Legends is really, really rhythm based, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's still a beautiful art style, and if you like rhythm based platforming, then I think you'll probably like this.
Great Escape is the better game.
Oh man, Rayman 2 is so good. It's the
best game.
But I will say I thought Origins was better.
No, I need to play Origins.
3D platformers are still wonky, man, and you just got to deal with that.
Back in the day, though, dude, it worked out well. I played it on PC.
I played that on Dreamcast and then PS2.
I played it on PC, and then there's a Nintendo DS port as well, which actually played about as well as my PC did.
Huh. Anyway, next games are Risen 3 Titan Lords for PS3, Eat Them for PS3, King Oddball, which is a Vita, PS3, and PS4 cross-buy title, so you can play it across all of them, or Furmans on PS Vita, which is funny because our competitor is Furmans in town. So,
well, to take a little side note to let you guys know about the wondrous Discord group we have. One of those Discord channels that we have in our server is called PS+Pals, and you may be wondering what that is. Every month we vote on the game to play, and of course you could play all of them. This isn't we're not super strict about it, but we do
we can't tell you what to play or not to play. Yeah, you play what you want,
but we pick the game of the month that we converse about the most. And so far, and I can't say this for sure. We're going to make the official announcement on Tuesday on Twitter. But so far, Detroit.
We were a little late to the game, is what I want to say. So we should have had this ready for announcement. Forgive us.
And I would say that as of now, this is a pretty small knit community. There is a total of 8 votes, and Beyond Two Souls is winning by 6 of them. So
hey, I'm cool with playing Beyond again.
I'm super excited about that. Never played.
Now, I want to say this because I don't want people to misconstrue my words. I liked Beyond. I loved Heavy Rain. There's a very big difference. And
that's the opposite from what you typically hear.
Yeah, and here's the no. Most people did not like Beyond.
In my experience, seeing people talk about these games, Beyond was the better game than Heavy Rain.
Ooh, Detroit's going way more.
Seeing
Detroit is going way more towards what Heavy Rain was doing with multiple interweaving storylines. Whereas when I played Beyond, I played Beyond on PS3. So here's the important thing, and why I am excited at the possibility of us playing that is that the PS4 remaster also made it to where you could play the game in a chronological order. Which on PS3 it would do this huge gap where like you'd be a teenager, then you'd be a kid, then you'd be an adult, then you'd be a teenager again. It's like, why are you jumping me around so much? I just want to play the damn game.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of starting from a kid and seeing it move up and seeing if that actually helps the pacing. And then another thing they did was every section of the game, they tried giving a different like a feel. So there's like a survival horror aspect on one. There's like a mystery thing on one. There's like it's very odd. They tried making each area feel like decidedly different. But it worked well. And I will say one of the things I liked about Beyond specifically, now we're doing Beyond impressions, but one of the things I liked about Beyond specifically over Heavy Rain is that moving around felt more natural than Heavy Rain, because Heavy Rain relied on everything to be done technically by button prompts. If you were walking, you were doing so by like it'd be like hold the analog stick. No, you held it.
Oh, okay.
But it felt more smooth and traditional game like on Beyond. So I'm cool. I'm happy to play that again and see if I like it better this time, and also if it ends up being better as the in terms of the order in which they let you play it. But yeah, that being said, we will figure that out, and as soon as Tuesday rolls around, which is when the games will be available, we will announce what game won, and hopefully if you've not joined us yet, you'll see fit to join us if this game calls out, and if not, then doesn't hurt, no harm, no foul. If you have beat God of War, just throwing this out there, we do have a Discord chat that is spoiler filled, but it's locked so that you can't see it. If you want to get on that, just ask us and we will add anybody that wants to be in that. We are using that for help with post-game stuff or to talk about things you liked about the story, like we did in the impression. So with that being said, Saul, would you like to go ahead and move into this week's Reader Mail?
I was going to ask, do we want to save all these questions and wrap up April completely in the bonus?
We'll still
go
ahead and do 3.
Okay, sure thing. So we have Liam with a joke question, but we love him anyways. Requesting another cat appearance in the next podcast. We need more cat representation in this world. Tabby is somewhere. We do not know where.
This is what I want to say. I cannot force my cat to do these things. I'm not that kind of person.
You do not want to force Tabby to do these things.
So what the thing is that apparently our podcast has become less inviting to her. So I don't know if it's because she's been reading all the. Maybe she's shy and think that y'all are like giving her these bad comments that she doesn't need to be in the show.
You haven't reviewed the podcast enough. we need. I don't care if it's 1 star. We need reviews. Tabby,
if your complaint is 4 out of 5 needs more cat, then I mean maybe she'll know that she's wanted on the show and will feel more likely to just come up here and jump in our laps. But until then, I can't control when she comes in here, Liam, so I apologize, sir, but as soon as we can get more cat representation, we will.
I feel like I hear her around us.
Speak of Tabby and she comes.
Yeah. Second question up, though, we have Richard Rivero. Our boy wants to know what our top 5 animes are. This is kind of hard to put together on a whim.
Ooh, I tried very hard on a whim.
So lately,
I'll try.
I've not been trying to read the reader mails because it always seems that I'm prepared to answer these kind of questions and you aren't.
That is true because you tend to read them more than I do.
I am going to stray away from reading them until we're live recording, so you guys get a more not genuine.
Good.
Answer,
you get to feel and look as dumb as I do when I don't know what I'm doing.
I will say Gundam Seed. I think I have this pretty ready to go.
Okay, go ahead.
Gundam
Seed's good.
Trigun. We have Death Note. Now, I'm not putting this in any order, but if I did, Death Note would be number 1.
Okay.
Just for clarification. Then we have Berserk.
Okay.
And then the final one, which is my favorite, I don't see a lot of people talking about too much, but it's Code Geass, Lelouch the Rebellion.
Okay.
That's it.
I am going to give you an entirely different list besides 1.
Death Note?
No, Death Note. Okay, I'll say 2.
Oh, Trigun.
Trigun is absolutely in my list. So I'll say
Trigun is a
very short-lived, but it's so cool anime that I love to death, and I've been trying to find it over and over again. And I talk about it like every 6 months and be like, I'll try and find it again. But it's called S Cryed, and it's stylized S hyphen cry hyphen ed. It was really cool show. Had really cool stuff in terms of like the way that the fighting went down, the story. I wish it would have went longer. I don't know if it was intended to be a one-off. The story feels like it worked as a one-off, but yeah. So Trigun, S Cryed, Full Metal Alchemist, without a doubt, and I'm going to go OG. As much as I understand the love for Brotherhood, and I think Brotherhood's good, I'm just an OG kind of guy. It may be that it's a nostalgia play. I don't know. I just like it more, and even when I watch it, I'm like, I still like this more. But I understand the merit in both, and I've watched both, and I enjoy both. So that's there, and I'll say, of course, you bring up Hellsing. It's hard to say if Hellsing's in there or not.
No, yeah, Hellsing is super good, and it would probably be my top 10.
Hellsing is really good.
Not past in 5, though.
Yeah, Hellsing's really good.
Full Metal Alchemist, perhaps?
I already just said that.
Oh.
You ain't listening to me, so.
No, I was obsessed with trying to show you this Trigun box set for $27.
I feel you, but Yu Yu Hakusho is number 4.
That's a good one. That's in my top 10, too.
I love Yu Yu Hakusho. And then number 5, Rurouni Kenshin. I will say,
hey, there we go. There's not enough love for Rurouni Kenshin anymore. But our third and our final question.
Special shout out to Big O. It's not in the list,
man.
But special shout out to Big O.
That was the detective one, right?
No, that was. I guess technically it was like a Batman.
Batman,
mofo, but
yeah.
He looked like Batman.
Yeah, he looked like Bruce Wayne.
Roger Clements or something. No, it's not something weird.
Like Big Seth showed me that before.
I like the show though.
I think he loves it.
I've not watched it in recent memory, so it could not hold up. But special shout out to my childhood memory of it.
So our final question of the day, and remember,
I get to choose this one, Saul.
There's only one left.
Oh, okay, well, fine. Go ahead then.
Okay.
Man, y'all need to step y'all's game up. I know we got all y'all's ones for the month. Y'all think we're not answering. But see, like Saul was saying, y'all gonna have one. Friday. Yeah, every first Friday of the month.
On my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be great. So we have our guy, our Aussie, Josh Ayers. He wants to know, is there any credence to the rumor that Blue Point is working on Demon's Souls? I want to.
Oh,
you guys are going to potentially see my E3 listing. We're going to do Dreams and Expectations, which we may do that live on Twitch. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Save the VOD and put it on YouTube.
And then I do agree, we did have somebody say that we need to do a game. I think there's a lot of fun games that we can do. We need to write down a list of things that we want to do.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, I want to do bets. We could do bingo. I actually think that's an even better idea.
Yeah.
And then we can have everybody play along,
and then
because it'd be real easy. All you got to do is make a board of all the things we think will happen.
Like an 8x8 board, and then I'd say roughly 16 items would be plausible.
We'll have to figure it out. But if you can get your board to connect. Now, here's the thing. I will do it to where you win something.
$50 PlayStation gift card.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. $50 PlayStation gift card. But what you have to do to qualify is send me your list
beforehand,
and your square, your bingo card that you create before E3.
With your username
and
on
then what
the
we
paper.
will do is, if you win, reach out, tell us, and we'll double check with what you said, with what you put on your board. And from there, that's a great idea, Saul. Thank you for that. That's great. So, yeah, there we go. That's our community outreach. Start thinking about what you think is going to happen at E3, and I don't care what it is. You can put it on there if it's a game. You can have it to where somebody mentions the word Battle Royale. I don't care what it is. You can play it as safe as you want to. You can be as ballsy as you want to be.
We got to make some rules first, because you can't just write Battle Royale on there.
I'm going to say Battle Royale's mentioned 5 times. That if you wanted to go that ballsy, because that's what the inspiration behind this was anyway. Seeing if we could do a numbered guess and see who gets the closest to how many times the word Battle Royale is said during E3.
I would say that'd be fair. But to answer your question, Josh, I hope there is credence to Demon's Souls being a thing again. It is crazy how primitive that game is, though. It's gonna be hard to go back. That is for sure.
I will say this: if they remake it, as much as I still like the game.
Don't get me wrong. It's a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I'd play it now, but
it'd be hard.
I don't know if it would work as well as the Shadow one did, because even Shadow brought over pretty archaic controls and kind of odd feel because they wanted to stay true to the original. If they wanted to stay true to the original Demon's Souls, I don't know. I think that there's some things they need to add into Demon's Souls.
It's
personally,
hard, though.
But more so than that, I think it's really hard because Blue Point said they're ramping up even further and acted like this is an even bigger task for them, right?
Oh no,
and they already ramped up a lot to do Shadow. So with that being said, it sounds like this is a similar scale of project where they're going to be remaking something from the ground up, which is cool, which will require them to do even more. But with it being that big, Demon's Souls just doesn't, in my mind, instantly be the thing that I think it needs to be. And I feel like the Metal Gear Solid rumor is possible Have you seen that Metal Gear Solid 1 remake?
That would be just as good, in my opinion.
Now, the only thing about that is they've already remade Metal Gear Solid 1. So do you really need another one? I mean, Twin Snakes is cool.
No, it is very cool, actually. That's almost controversial, which I don't think should be. I mean, I hope there is credence to the rumor. I would most certainly pay $60 to play Demon's Souls if it was remastered from the ground up. I'd pay $40 to just get a 1080p 60 frame port similar to Scholar of the First Sin. But that is by far the most outdated game, but it's hard to say where it falls in my favorites. I'd have to say Bloodborne tied with Dark Souls 3, then Dark Souls 2, and then Demon's Souls, then Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, Demon's Souls is above Dark Souls 1 for me personally.
But the problem is that I played Dark Souls 2 when it came out, and I played on the PS4. I had so good times with it that it's a lot based off of nostalgia than any nostalgia.
Yeah, like your time with the game necessarily. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
And don't get me wrong, just because Dark Souls 1 is last on that list that I very quickly made up that may very well change in 10 minutes, does not mean that the game is not a bad game. It's still my favorite.
Yeah, it'll change in 10 minutes.
It definitely will.
Bloodborne will be bottom of your totem pole.
I don't think that'll ever happen. But Brett, why don't you move us into the main topic where we received a very brilliant and fun question
so
from
I want to say,
our
first
boy,
thing is
El
that
Shabib.
news is a little odd this week, and we've been topical, and while that's fun, we do like to just splice in a little bit. So considering that there wasn't anything that we just thought we needed to hop on that was topical, and there was a little bit of a lull in news, I thought it would be really cool to do something more of a fun kind of community-based episode with this one. So we're going to take a question that we actually really loved, and we loved it so much that it kind of inspired us to go this direction when we knew that we didn't have a topic that we just were hungry to hop on. I think it's a great question. It's from Mr. Hassan El Tabib. Thank you, sir. Always sending questions. We appreciate it.
I love it.
And we do have the rest of them. Those will be answered. You wait. We have that one coming in about what? So I guess a little under a week. So
yeah.
By the time this posts, I mean, it'll be Friday. We'll be fine. That being said, his question is, scenario question. You are stranded on an island with all your basic needs met except for entertainment. You get hit by a game every 6 months from a plane flying over you, and miraculously, a generator for 10 hours of power and high-speed internet access show up with an 85-inch OLED 4K TV. Which gaming experience would you prefer? Pure online game, a single-player game that you can finish in 10 hours, or a longer game that you can finish later on in 6 months. This not about communicating with people, but more about the game choice. Thank you, first of all. We're going to take a little bit of creative, control with the question, and we are going to answer that part, but then we're also going to say, like, if we had to choose, like, kind of like Desert Island books, we have to choose 5. I think I would go that route. And that can also include unreleased games if you're really that ballsy to think that you want to have one of your 5 games be something you don't even know.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to, but it's allowed if you want to. That being said, I know my answer. Now, what I'm curious about is Saul's answer, because I think I know his, but Saul surprises me every now and then.
Why don't you go with yours real quick?
Okay, so my answer is going to be, first of all, these are the weirdest circumstances that I've ever been trapped on an island.
The most weirdly specific.
And very specific, which is part of what made me love the question. So thank you for being that oddly specific.
Specific.
Did I say Pacific?
Yes, you did.
Specific. Sorry, I
think you said it twice.
I was talking too quickly, apparently.
No, this is a voice radio show. We have to be professional. Professional.
All right, that said, man, my answer lies somewhere between single-player game that you can finish in 10 hours or a longer game you can finish later on. So what I think he means by that is like The Witcher 3. Like The Witcher 3 flies down for some reason, and you can play 10 hours of The Witcher 3, and then 6 months later you get to play 10 hours more of The Witcher 3.
See, I'm going to go ahead and say that you have 6 months with the game that gets dropped, and the power is 10 hours per day. Okay,
so these are where creative liberties are taking then.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's that, then yes, I'm going to go the obvious answer for me. No online, because I would get so bored with that. I can't even imagine. I would choose a game like Witcher 3 for one, and I would do that. And then I would choose a game like you know what, I'm gonna narrow it down to 5 games that fit that scope. And it's going to stay in line with this idea of a longer game that I can play throughout the thing, which will also kind of be inclusive of 10 hours or longer. So my 5 games currently will be Skyrim, because I know Skyrim is just fun. And even though it's been outdone, it's still a great, fun game. The Witcher 3.
I was kind of surprised at Skyrim, to be honest. I'm so sick of that game.
I honestly though, if I don't play it for a while, every time I come back to it, it's fun. So I'm gonna say Skyrim.
I guess I could see
Skyrim's
that.
fun. The Witcher 3, I think, is an easy shoe-in answer. There's so much to do that you have. I mean, you're talking, you know, what's it, 200 hours of gameplay in that, or even more. You're talking being able to play that game throughout the entirety of the 6 months, which would be great.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do that, I would go with a couple of more short narrative-driven games. I'm actually going to go with ballsy enough to say because I think the game is very fun. I'm going to go ahead and put God of War in that list because I think God of War has a good enough story that it will fulfill my story purposes. It's long enough gameplay-wise and has extra stuff that's fun that I would enjoy doing that. Oh, now I want to mix it up a little bit because these are all similar to an extent.
Yes.
I feel like I need a shooter in there. But when I try and think of what shooter I think fits the bill the most, I've got to try and go towards something that I feel like is more story-driven, more narrative-driven, and what do I want that to be? So Resistance 3 is going to be my story game for the shooter.
I can see
I'm
that.
I'm cool with that, but then I need a racing game because there's something about racing game that's really fun. And my racing game is going to be MotorStorm 2 Pacific Rift for PS3. Love that game. We're talking about a PS4 Pro that can play all games, or PS4 Pro Z, whatever. They can play PS3 games, PS4 games.
Everything.
I love it. Those are going to be my games, and it says a lot that is all either this gen or last gen.
Yeah, because I'm not going that way.
Because while I love PS1 and PS2, oh, you know what? I dug myself into a hole.
So
there's no platforming games. So
yeah, I mean,
and I love platforming games.
Yeah,
so I take it back. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to cheat two different ways. I'll take it back a little bit.
We'll see how this works.
I'm going to take out.
You're going to put a Guacamelee too?
No.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't care. I mean, I love Guacamelee, but Guacamelee 2 is not out yet. I don't know if it's good. I'm going to take out Skyrim. That's going to be the game I cut off of this board.
No, I said you're going to add Guacamelee 2 as well.
Oh, as well. No. As much as I love Guacamelee, no, that's not it.
I didn't even make that correlation.
Guacamelee is a fun brawler/platformer, so it would be a good way to fill that. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to cheat twice. I forgot
this coming out.
I'm going to remove Skyrim, and I'm going to add the Crash Bandicoot trilogy because the Crash Bandicoot PS3 remaster, the Insane trilogy, because it's one game technically.
Right. No, I
understand. But there's 3 games, and it fulfills my favorite platforming thing. So that's definitely those are my 5, and I could die happily tomorrow, even in an hour, knowing that I'm okay with that list.
I would not.
Now that list may change, but if I died tomorrow, or if I got stuck on an island tomorrow, and that list somehow had to come true, I'm fine with that list.
It's weird that almost all of my 5 games are RPGs. Now let me tell you this though. So
do you not think you're going to get genre fatigue?
No, and I'll explain why. So how are you playing these games? Is it one game every 5 months?
No,
it's getting
6 months. You mean?
Yeah. Did you unplug the audio cable?
I don't think so.
Okay, no, we're good. So how are you doing this? You pick 5 games. You have this course of 6 months. So that's 36 months.
Sure.
So you're just gonna pick whatever game you want per month, basically.
I mean, per section of 6 months.
Well,
right?
yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, per section.
10 hours per day.
1 hour per game. I mean, not 1 hour. Sorry, but 1 6-month period per game.
Right.
And hopefully,
36 months total.
Maybe they just rotate out. Or are we talking about where the games disappear after the 6 months are gone? Like 30, you can't play them again?
30 months total. Can I not do math? 6 times 5
6 times 6 is 36.
6 times 6. Okay. Where am I getting 5
Are we doing 5
from?
years?
No, we're doing 5 games.
5 games. Okay, so 30.
Okay, yeah. I am math.
Math.
I was like, wait a second. No, that doesn't sound right. But anyways, so for me, I'm going to take The Witcher 3. And
hold on, we got to set the rules up real quick. I've already done mine, and I know. But are you saying that at the end of the 6 month period, whatever game you had disappears?
No. Okay, so if we have 5 games,
yes,
and then every 6 months we get 1 game,
that gets dropped down. Yes,
10 hours per day.
Yes,
I got you. And you have to do this over the course of 30 months.
Sure.
So,
and at the end of the 30 months, if you've beaten every game, you get picked up off the island. That's my added rule.
It's so easy though. Okay, because you
have to platinum. Long. You have to platinum all games.
If you can't platinum, okay. But anyways, that may be hard because I picked The Witcher 3 because I've never had the attention span to play through it all the way through, and I think there's a mixture of some things there that it just doesn't flow well with me. I've talked about it before, and at some point in this year, I'm pretty sure that probably mid-June, all the way until September when Spider-Man comes out, I'm going to have quite a lot of free time, and I plan on revisiting The Witcher 3. So this will actually it'll force me to sit down and play this game.
So this list may change by the time that you start playing the game and realize for the third time.
Well, if I get kidnapped right now, this is what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
No. I'll make myself like a game if that's the only one I have for 6 months. Next up on the list for almost the exact same reason.
My name is Mayo. It's all you have for 6 months.
My thumb would fall off. That's too many buttons. But Persona 5, second game, just because it is in the same exact vein. And I love the Persona series. This is what's crazy is that I know for a fact I will love Persona 5. From what I've played of it so far, I do love Persona 5. There's a lot of plosives in Persona.
I'm very disappointed in myself, but I'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. I know that the soundtrack is great. The characters are great. From what I've played, I know I'm going to love this game because I love Persona 4. And I have yet to beat it. I have yet to play it for more than the 30 to 40 hours that I have. And it's just because every time I get into it, something pops up. And I need some time to dedicate to it. So Persona 5, definitely number 2 on the list. Number 3 on the list, Final Fantasy XIV. This is where the online game comes through because I feel like that over the course of 6 months, I will have so much variety in that game that I will make myself last. Going through a tank for a month and then for the DPS, then healing. I've never done healing before, so that'll be super interesting. So I think that the amount of variety and just the amount of time you can play that game for is super. It's value is all it is.
I got you.
People complain about the $15 a month. No, it's worth it for that price. So that was number 3. Number 4 on the list, another fantastic RPG that I am quite fond of. Technically RPG, more like action game, but Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Okay.
Because I find it ironic that I'm on a counter of which time I have, and I'm going to play a time-based game. So that's super fun. But a game that I could not get really old of playing. Especially in a 6 month time, be able to 100% that super easy, and then just take my time with it and explore every single corner of Termina there is to explore.
Okay.
So that's
a good answer.
4th game.
That's a good game too.
It is a very good game. My 5th game, and this is what I was kind of mentally debating in my head of like, do I want a shooter? Is there a story-based shooter that I would want to play for 6 months in a row? Is there a story-based a multiplayer-based shooter that I would play for 6 months in a row? Typically I'm done with the Call of Duty game every year it comes out by March, and that's 4 months technically.
Yeah, where you don't want to play the competitive anymore.
Yeah, where I'm just sick of the multiplayer. So like Call of Duty won't work. Overwatch hasn't ever held my attention for that long a period of time. It's held my attention for some. So I actually was gonna go with Enter the Gungeon because of the amount of variety that game can give you and the pretty much infinite nature of that game. But with you bringing up platformers, it had me kind of reevaluate a couple things in my head of what I would want. And I think I'm going to go with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And if you guys watched way back when in our top 10 games of all time, that's one of mine. And it's
Symphony of the Night's great.
Super great game. And I think I could get 6 months worth of value out of that game pretty easily. There's a couple things that you could do in that game in terms of challenge runges that are super fun. And, I highly recommend that game.
So where I'm disappointed in myself, and I think Enter the Gungeon would have been cool, but the only thing is there'd have to be like a magical world where when you mess up, that when you throw the controller, it doesn't break and break the TV, and then
the game is not that hard. It is definitely challenging.
It gets annoying though sometimes because a lot of it's luck of the draw. If you don't get great weapons, and you're like crap,
dude. It's the same. It's almost the same cycle that I have with Fortnite of that like. If you don't just start off good, you just got to restart again. And that's exactly what Fortnite and PUBG is. But where did you mess up?
I first of all want to apologize to the JRPG gods, and secondly Yoko Taro because
forgot Nier
Automata or Nier did not make it into my list, and I am regretful. And they should have been in there. And the fact that they weren't, the first thing on my mind says that it's been too long since I've played Nier Automata, and then I need to go pop it in and play it very, 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 very soon. I'm sorry. Liam, I feel like you're disappointed in me, but you know what? I'm disappointed in myself, so I don't need your disappointment on top of that. That being said, I also think that while it's not one of my favorite games, I do think it fits multiple needs, and it may take one of the games on the list if I was going to go back. I mean, my list is my list. I've made it.
Right.
But if I was going to go back and had the ability to change it, I think one of the things that while I don't necessarily love the series, but I do think it's fun enough, Borderlands would be a really weird in-between to fit some of the
gameplay and then
some of the RPG elements, some of the shooting elements, long gameplay where you have a lot of extra side stuff you could do.
It's short, but Undertale would be great too.
Huh. I never played Undertale, so I guess
You got to get around to that, just because I think that the humor in Undertale is one, if not only, of 20 probably video games across my entire 26 years of being alive. And that game never fails to make me laugh out loud at parts, because it's just, some of the humor in it is just hilarious.
Huh.
I love it.
Okay.
And my leg is numb now.
I've not played that, but apparently I need to. So
I think $20. I think you get it physically now. I know you can get it digitally on PS4. Recommend it to anybody.
I think you can probably buy it used. I think they had a used copy of Undertale at our GameStop.
I want to go get that today.
Too late.
No, it's not Sunday. It's Saturday.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, we record on Saturdays, everybody.
Anyway, okay. Well, that's where my real complaints are with my own list.
I'm happy.
I really messed up. But you know what? That's okay. You got to do what you got to do. And even then, but choosing between Resistance 3 edged out just because I really do love that game. But Metro was almost in there. One of the two Metro games.
You know what? Yeah, I think Metro 2033 would have been fantastic in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. One of those games. I'm curious to see how Metro Exodus ends up doing. I
am too.
I mean, like I said, it was a little bit of a slow news week, so we don't want this to drag on a bunch.
Yeah, we would have had some fun, casual talk with you guys.
Yeah,
maybe
and like we said,
sit at home and getting comfy. That's all we want,
Yeah, and we feel like we've been doing pretty well with our extra content. Like we said, we will have it'll be the month before, so that's one thing. It'll be the April's
all of April's
reader
questions that have not been answered.
The first Friday of May, and that'll continue on. May's will be in June. So, but yeah. We want to know y'all's list. Hassan, since this is your question, Mr.
Let us know.
I absolutely want to know yours. No excuses, good sir. Let us know your games.
And I want
you can adhere to our rules. You can make your own rules. We don't care. This is fun.
I want everybody to come out of the woodworks and let us know your top 5 games you'd play on Island.
I really need to know Liam's because he
months.
overplays games so much, and I feel like I almost know his list just by knowing the amount of times that he's bought and platinum something.
He is the only person that I have personally communicated to in life. Not seen comments, not saw a video on. He's the only person I've talked to that knows about Knights of the Round and the damage stuff you can do in Final Fantasy VII. It's actually nuts. You've heard me talk before about the 9999 damage, and that's what it is. Never have I talked to somebody about it in real life and they got it.
Hey, well, look, there you go.
Super cool.
I'm not that big of a Final Fantasy VII nerd. But yeah, let us get your list. I got a couple people I'm interested in. I'm really interested to see what Blake's is because Blake is coming over from Xbox, so I think his side will probably be from memory.
I thought you were talking about he's coming over here.
His nostalgia ones, I think, will probably be more based across his Xbox lineage and heritage. I will say that there are Xbox games that would have edged in but not
Halo
taken
2.
over. I think Fable, the first Fable, is really fun to me and almost the perfect game. I love that game.
I have probably spent...
But it would not necessarily be in that list because it would still... I don't know. Maybe maybe the Fable 1 remake, I actually never ended up playing it.
What do you mean remake?
Not remake, but technically the one that they redid in Unreal and they brought it up. It was called Fable Anniversary.
No,
maybe
that's the same game with the DLC from the first game. That's just all of it packaged together.
No, but they redid it. They made it autosave instead of save points and all sorts of stuff.
I don't remember all that. I just remember it being a very similar game. And then you can go and get the Jack of all blades stuff. You can go kill him.
But that was just
spoilers for the first Fable.
There is, when you're there, it may not be called Fable Anniversary, but it was the first Fable.
You let me know because I'll go pick this up on PC tonight.
Yeah, it's on PC and it has controller support where the original Fable and controller did not. Yeah, it's called Fable Anniversary. So
I'm gonna pick this up tonight.
Look.
Oh, you have no idea.
And they redid. They put it in a new engine, which changed a lot of stuff. I never got around to playing it, but I don't have a 360. But I have the game on PC. I just haven't played it. But anyway, that will be it for us. This has been Triangle Squared, and we will see you next time for episode 58. Thank you.
A bonus episode, reader mail. Thank you.
Bonus episode 2, but then 58.
Thank you, guys.